Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and as you guys know, I was unable to do a reaction video for the Golden Globes for this year, and usually I do end up doing one, a near 3 hour live stream, which a lot of people really don't like. I've noticed that throughout the years, almost all my reaction videos get so much negative reception, all these negative comments. So for those of you who don't enjoy it, you didn't have to endure it this year, and I'm very happy that you didn't have to do that. However, for those of you that actually do enjoy my video, I'm sorry that I was unable to get one up. I'm usually much better when it comes to that stuff, and I have a legit reason though. I was very busy. I was working an 8 hour shift at my job, as you guys know. Well, I haven't told you guys, I do work at the Cheesecake Factory, and it's quite a demanding job, especially what I was doing yesterday. Again, I'm not going to get into it because you guys don't care about that. But either way, like I said, because of the fact that I was unable to do a live stream, I also didn't do a predictions video, I figured that I would give you my overall thoughts on the night overall, tell you what I thought of the winners, tell you what I thought of Seth Meyers as a host, all that good stuff, and we're just going to get into it right off the bat. So let me just say, to start things off, that overall I was very happy with the outcome. I thought, even if some of the nominations weren't my first choice, I was relatively happy. There wasn't really anything that I was like, oh no, not that. No, why'd that have to win? Like, there wasn't anything that really did upset me, and I think that's due to the fact that a lot of the nominations didn't really upset me. Like, I was fine with most of the nominations, and that's something that I will definitely say. There really wasn't anything that I was upset about. There were some things I was surprised about. Like, I definitely did not expect Alexander Desplat to win Best Score for The Shape of Water. Am I happy? Oh, yeah, definitely. It's probably one of my favorite scores last year. I listen to that score all the time. I'm still pissed that Lady Bird did not get nominated for that because I think their score as well is fantastic, and I listen to it almost on a daily basis. But I've listened to Shape of Water almost just as much, and it's such a great, mysterious, just whimsical score that perfectly plays into the fantastical elements of The Shape of Water. So I am actually really happy that they won. I think they very much do deserve. I'm very happy that Alexander Desplat did get that. But again, I was not expecting that to happen. I also was not expecting This Is Me to win for Best Original Song. I thought for sure Remember Me from Coco was a shoo-in, but no. And you know what? I will say this. This Is Me is not my favorite song from that movie. I think it is definitely a really good song. Kiala Settle definitely does kill it there. My favorite song is probably either Come Alive or The Greatest Show, but I still do really enjoy This Is Me. I think it works as an anthem, for not just The Greatest Show, but for the Golden Globes overall. And speaking of that, I do want to tie into the central theme of all this, which I don't really think I've seen this in the Golden Globes before. I haven't seen this in many award shows in a while, where there really was one central theme. I mean, sure, we've had a few political jabs and things like that, but nothing really to this effect. The whole night was kind of constructed around the one theme of the Me Too movement, which of course is about all the fucked up stuff that's been going on with Harvey Weinstein and such, which it's terrible, honestly. It's terrible that this stuff does happen. It's terrible that women have been, secret about it for years, and I'm just glad it's finally coming out. I definitely will say that. I'm glad that finally there is some justice, being thrown their way. I think it's definitely very deserving, and I think the fact that, like I said, that was such a prominent theme in the Globes really affected a lot of the night, including the winners. I noticed a lot of the winners definitely were a part of that, and I don't know if that was intentional or if it just kind of worked out that way, but there were definitely a lot of winners that, kind of bled into that one theme, whether it be Handmaid's Tale and their theme of empowerment, or Big Little Lies and their theme of, rising up against all the oppressors, essentially, things like that, or even something as simple as The Post, which, that whole movie is about a woman who, a woman running a newspaper at a time when women weren't really looked at in that way, and something like that was kind of frowned upon. So, yeah, that very much was a big theme in the night. I think Oprah's theme, I think Oprah's, not theme, but Oprah's speech um, kind of tied it all together, honestly, with really what she was saying. I think the point of the night really, again, was to, for women to be heard. And I think it's honestly kind of great that something's finally happening there. So, yeah, I definitely really do enjoy that. I know some people said it was a little bit too much, but you know what? It's been such a big news story that I'm not surprised that they did this. I think it honestly made a lot of sense for them to do that. I've not really enjoyed a lot of their political stuff. I'm glad that definitely took a back seat in terms of this, because this is much more relevant. This is actually something that I think Hollywood should be able to talk about, and something that we should be concerned about. I mean, these are, yes, they are actors, but we also have to remember that they are regular people, and they go through the same things that any other average person does. And to just think of something like what Weinstein did happening to, actual people, it's disgusting. Honestly, it's disgusting, it's horrifying, and the fact that it actually happened, it's baffling how under wraps this has been kept. But I mean, when you're that powerful in Hollywood, it's only a matter, it's very hard for any sort of news to come out, but it's only a matter of time before it is. And I think, again, it was definitely very well handled in that regard. But like I was saying, all the nominees that won, I was definitely, for the most part, very happy about. There were definitely some significant snubs. Like, I am still pretty upset that, Lady Bird Greta Gerwig was not nominated for Best Director. And I do agree with Natalie Portman. I think it is kind of bullshit that she was completely snubbed in that way. Did she necessarily need to make that jab? No, she probably could have phrased it differently, but I still agree with it. I think it's dumb that Greta Gerwig wasn't nominated, and I know some people are saying that, hey, those directors deserve it, and rightfully so. I will definitely agree with that. Steven Spielberg, Ridley Scott, these are very talented, Guillermo del Toro, these are very talented directors, but Greta Gerwig was Lady Bird. That movie would not be what it is without Greta Gerwig, and the fact that she wasn't really recognized for that film is quite disappointing. I mean, sure, her film was recognized, but I really would have loved to see her win for Best Director. I think she very much deserved it. Not that McDonough and Del Toro didn't. They absolutely made fantastic films, but I think, for Greta Gerwig, it was something a lot more personal than it was for the other two. Even though Del Toro's was pretty personal, I think for Gerwig, it was a different kind of personal in that way, because in many ways, Lady Bird is kind of autobiographical. Even though it didn't happen exactly the way it did, a lot of things that happened in that film, Gerwig did go through in her personal life, and I think it definitely is kind of a shame that she was snubbed for that. So, yeah, I definitely am a bit disappointed. That being said, though, I was very happy to see that Guillermo del Toro won for Best Director. I thought for sure it was going to go to the director of Call Me By Your Name, which I thought was good directing, nothing great, but Guillermo del Toro absolutely deserved that. It's been a long time coming for him to win, and I was very happy to see him win for The Shape of Water. That was definitely very deserving there. Also, seeing Gary Oldman win for Best Actor, that was just fantastic. I think for years we have all thought of that. Why isn't this guy won? He's just one of those actors working where it's like, why is this guy not won something? And he's now won a Golden Globe. I think he's gonna win the Oscar. He's gonna get nominated. He's probably gonna win. So I am definitely looking forward to that, because again, it's something that should have happened a long time ago, and I'm glad to see that he did win the Oscar here. All the other nominations, like I said, I thought all the winners were definitely very deserving. Glad to see Big Little Lies win a lot. Handmaid's Tale, haven't finished yet, not gonna lie to you guys. It's still on my list of shows to finish. I can't make my top 15 list until I watch Handmaid's Tale. But from what I've seen, it's an incredible show, and I think it's definitely very deserving of what it does get. And again, ties into that theme of, women getting justice. That really was the big theme of, the Golden Globes this year. And I think probably most award shows moving forward, that's going to be the theme, which again is understandable given how prominent of a topic it has been in, recent news headlines, for sure. Definitely, it's something that I think should be talked about. Also, was very glad to see Three Billboards win a lot. That was definitely something I very much did enjoy. Really enjoyed Frances McDormand's speech. I thought that was really great. Again, there were definitely some shockers there, but nothing really outright, upsetted me. And that's something that, again, I was very happy about. I was happy to see that, most of the awards were things I either would agree with or could understand. Like, do I think Ian McGregor should have won for Fargo? In a way, yes, but I was really hoping Kyle MacLachlan would win. I knew he wasn't going to get it, but just the dedication and the work he put into that show is just incredible. And it speaks volumes about how passionate he really was about bringing that show back. But when you really think about it, I think Ewan McGregor worked just as hard because he played two characters. Kyle MacLachlan played almost five characters, but he still did play two characters. And the fact he was able to pull them off and not just do that, but get to the point where it was hard, where it was easy to discern who each one of them were, and completely create two completely different characters altogether. It's a very hard challenge for anyone to uphold, and the fact that he was able to do it, I think, he should get recognition for, and I was glad to see Ian McGregor win there. So yeah, I definitely am happy about that. Again, it wasn't my first choice, no, but I am overall happy that he did win because I do think he very much does deserve it there. So that's something that I did enjoy seeing overall. Like I said, most of the nominations I was happy about, now, of course, as I have been talking, you guys have probably wondered, what do you think of Seth Meyers as a host? Well, I haven't really talked about him a lot. Well, that's because it was one of those award shows where he was the host, but he just didn't really feel like one. Like, there really isn't anything that Seth Meyers did where I'm like, oh, that's fantastic, or oh, that was great. Maybe there were a few good jokes in there, but he's just a really forgettable host altogether. Seth Meyers, in general, in my opinion, is pretty bland. I do think he's had some good jokes here and there, but every award show that I've seen him host, he's never really left that much of an impact on the overall show. And Jimmy Fallon, similar to Seth Meyers, didn't really do a lot for me last year. At least he had that really great opening number. The problem was last year, that opening number, was so great that nothing he said after could really top it. That's how great that opening number was. Unfortunately, this year, there really wasn't anything that I'd say Seth Meyers did that was that great, or anything that I could say, oh, that was definitely very well executed, or that was very well thought out. There really was nothing in the way of creativity or anything that really stuck out, and yeah, that definitely was disappointing. So Seth Meyers, I don't really have much to say about him because I just didn't really think much of him, honestly. So yeah, if you're wondering what I thought of Seth Meyers, just keep it simple. I did not think much of him. I thought he was just kind of there. He was the host of the show. I know he poked fun at that he's just kind of a random guy hosting, but that's really what he was. I mean, especially with all this stuff being talked about, it was just weird to see Seth Meyers host. I did not really think he fit in there. He stuck out like a sore thumb in some segments, and there were times where he came out, I'm like, oh yeah, Seth Meyers is hosting. Like, I completely forgot he was hosting at points because he had almost nothing to do, and it's definitely one of the more disappointing host gigs I've seen in a while. Also was very surprised to see Allison Janney win over Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird. I thought for sure Laurie Metcalf was going to get it. I mean, I thought Lady Bird was going to take a lot more than they did, but really only Saoirse Ronan and Lady Bird itself won for, best comedy, but that's really it. I thought Laurie Metcalf was going to get it, but Allison Janney did. And I will say, I think it's deserving. I think she did a great job in that film overall. She really gave it 100%, and I can definitely see why she would win. Also, similar to that, I was definitely a little bit surprised to see the winner of the best foreign film in The Fade. I thought for sure that was going to go to The Square because I've heard so much buzz about that, and In The Fade just kind of came out of nowhere. I've heard like nothing about that movie, so yeah, that again was quite surprising for sure. Also, I do have to say, it was really great to see James Franco win for the Disaster Artist, and probably my favorite award speech of the night. Just seeing him bring on Tommy and having Greg Sestero there and thanking Dave Franco. There was so much passion in that. You could tell that these guys have really enjoyed working together, and I love that everyone really did get their time to speak there. Even though Seth Rogen, even Seth Rogen, I mean, he's the one who introduced the film, and he even got to give his 2 cents. So you can just tell how this really was something that these two have been developing for a while, and how that echoed Tommy and Greg. Tommy's vision I thought was really cool to see. You could tell that he wanted to give Tommy some time to speak, but it obviously didn't happen. And I thought overall was definitely really great to see. So I was very happy to see James Franco win. Again, I think similar to Gary Oldman, he is going to win the Oscar, and I really do hope that does happen overall. And then I know I briefly touched upon it, but Oprah's speech that she gave, I honestly really did love. I love how she talked about how far we come as a society, all stemming back from Sidney Poitier's win in the heat of the night. I thought that was a really great way to start things out. Just giving different accounts of things she's seen throughout the years was definitely very inspiring. And there's a reason why she's known as one of the best, TV personalities of all time. And it's speeches like that that really just show how much passion is inside of her. She just oozed so much enthusiasm, and her excitement in that stuff and her passion. It was just infectious, and she really did an incredible job in that speech overall. So I definitely really did enjoy that. Overall, guys, like I said, I enjoyed it. It was nothing groundbreaking. It was nothing amazing. It was predictable. Like, a lot of the things that did win, I'm like, oh, yeah, they're probably going to win. I mean, you could see me on Twitter. I'm like, oh, this person's going to win. Who else do you think was going to win? Like, I knew Elizabeth Moss was going to get Best Actress. I knew for a fact that Sterling K. Brown was going to get Best Actor in a Drama Series. I knew Saoirse Ronan was going to win. Again, these are all things that are very deserving, and I'm glad to see that they did win. There's just nothing really that earth-shattering. There's nothing really that surprised me all that much, besides, like I said, Guillermo del Toro and a few things like that. There were definitely some things I was surprised about, which, guys, please shut up about the whole, oh, there's not enough diversity in the Best Director category. I mean, a Mexican director won, so I think that's diverse enough. I think people really need to stop about that. Again, I was upset that, like I said, the Greta Gerwig was snubbed, but I think people really do need to stop with that overall. But that's really it for my thoughts on the Golden Globes. Like I said, not too much to say. I overall did very much enjoy it. If you guys want to see my predictions, I will post them down below just so you guys can see what I did get right. Some of them, I was kind of wrong about. Like, a lot of the ones that I said should win aren't necessarily the ones that did win, and they actually did win. Like, I didn't think they were going to, and then they did. Some I was, like, dead on with. So I'm, it's pretty 50-50 when it comes to that. I'll post in the description below. You guys can definitely check that out. But either way, guys, that's it for my review, really. Let me know what you guys thought of the Golden Globes. What did you think of Seth Meyers as an actor? Did you like kind of the through line that kind of tied everything together of the Me Too theme? I thought that was honestly really cool the way they did that. But that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in my next video, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.